Hi everybody, this is Gwen with Tea Time with the Empress here with Soul Central Magazine. Today we're here with Devin D. Thorpe, and I want to let you guys know that this is a Guerrilla Mafia Entertainment production, and I want to let you guys also know here at Soul Central Magazine we going global or we stand local. And Devin, once again, we are back together again. And you know what, and once again, y'all know I love my signed copies of my books and everything that we got going on. And this one right here, Devin, is that, you know what, we're looking at, says 925 ideas to help you save money, get out of debt, and retire a millionaire. Now, I know all my broke people, y'all might want to get this book, okay? Because I know I'm definitely going to read this, because I ain't trying to go out of this world and say on my tombstone, here like when she broke. She could have had billions, you know, and that's just not going to happen like that, okay? You know, so I'm telling y'all. So, Devin, where can they get this book at?
The great thing about this book is you can download it for free right from Amazon or Barnes & Noble or iTunes. It's free.
Devin, you getting high tech now, okay?
Yeah.
You're not even pushing paper no more. You're like pushing digital copies.
So, yeah, over 1 million people have already done that. It's a very popular book. I hope it helps people.
So how long did it take for you to write this?
I've written 6 books. This was the fastest. Of all the crazy things, I wrote this one in 60 days, and this is by far my most popular book, even though I wrote it the fastest. So it's an interesting irony there for
So
me.
you've had 1 million downloads of this on Amazon already.
Yeah.
And this book right here, and it's going into a little bit, it says about, you know, making changes, small ways, teaching your children to help others. After reading this book, I intend to really put some effort into helping other people. So right now, is this, which, in the way that you wrote your books, is this the 6th book that you've written? Or
No,
I
think this was the 3rd book I wrote.
So this was the 3rd one that you wrote.
Yeah.
So what was tell us a little bit about the first ones that you had written.
Well, so my first 3 books were all about this theme of using money for good and managing your money well. Since then, I've sort of branched out. So I've written about using crowdfunding for good. I've talked about how to use profits for good, how to build a network for good. So yeah, I've written about a lot of different things, but always with the idea in mind of using resources, especially money, for doing good.
So the thing about what I'm saying is that also from these books stemmed from a lot of your lectures and a lot of the panels and a lot of things that you've gone out to, like physically go out there and, you know what, lecture people about these things. And so what do you feel like the success rate of people actually, do you think that they're learning from what they're getting from these books?
Yeah, my favorite story with this book was a woman came to me after she read it, and she said, "You saved my marriage." Because I and my husband both read the book, and it gave us a shared language for talking about money, and we were able to resolve our family tension over money, and it saved my marriage. I mean, that, for me, that's the money, right? That's the payback for me.
That's the profit
right?
that's going right there. So it's like people are coming to you and they're telling you that, you know what, this book helped change my life. It helped me be able to put my finances and my family finances and all those things together just like this. And so when you first wrote your first book, what stage in your life, where were you at when you sat there and said, you know what, I think I'm going to start writing a book?
Yeah. So it was clear back in the 90s when I actually wrote the book, my first book, and I was a corporate treasurer, and I really felt like some of the messages around personal financial management just were not accessible and not adapted to everybody. So I wrote, my very first book was to help people of my particular faith manage their money, and it was a very specific strategy for people who are LDS, right? And as you probably know, people who are LDS, they have lots of kids, they try to send them all to college, they try to send them all on missions.
And the missions cost money, right?
And the missions cost money, and then they pay tithing, right? They try to give 10% of their income to the church. So there's some unusual financial management things in the Mormon community. And so I wrote about that to try and help people be able to manage their money better.
But if you teach one, you teach millions.
You teach one, yeah. And so then my second book was to say, I think that those lessons apply not only to Mormons, but to anyone who wants to do good, right? If you want to use your money for doing good, however you define it, some of these lessons apply. So I adapted that book, and really what I still think of as my best book, which is my least popular, The iRIES, right? But Your Mark on the World is about using your money for good. And then I wrote this sequel in a hurry. That was kind of a weird deal, but that's been the popular book. So it's been an interesting experience.
So out of all 6 of them, this one right here, the 925 ideas to help you save money and get out of debt and retire to millions, because just hearing the title of that is reverberating with me, is because that's what's happening to so many people, is that everybody is robbing Peter to get to Paul. Yeah. And then Paul is so robbed right now, like I'm saying, he ain't got not even a beam to hold on to. And it's like every day it's like people are going and doing these things, and it's a continuous cycle. As I would like to say, the snake is eating the tail. Yeah. It's going around and around. So I think that this is a very good idea, is that for once, this is letting people know why the snake is eating the tail. Yeah, that what's going on in the body and the meat of it is that what comes around, what goes around. It's a continuous cycle. And I think that is what the beauty of it is that you just didn't take and write a romantic novel.
I may do that someday too.
We got, y'all heard that first here on Tea Time, okay? Right. Devin D. Thorpe romantic novels, okay, where that idea came from, flashback. Yeah. But it's the point being is that, Devin, is that the reason that I'm getting into this and everything is like, even when I always tell you a little bit about where I go with my interviews and everything, is because the whole key point and the key words that you keep saying is you want to help people. That you did this first in your faith. Okay, it was your calling. It was something that you went out and you seen that was going on. It was seen that within your faith and your people, that the financial woes and everything. And then being, and working with people's money. Okay, working with their financial backings, working with the banks, contributing your writings to Forbes magazines, your humanitarian acts that you got going on. And today, everybody, that's what my key thing is that I wanted to talk about with Devin D. Thorpe. I understand the books. I understand the glory. I understand the panels. I understand everybody. We know that already. But people need to know what the message is behind the man. And I feel that is what your calling is that your calling is not just, it came through faith, it came through God, okay? It came through however you choose to look at that. And there's nothing wrong with that, but the message is for the people.
Yeah.
And that's what I believe, and that's why I love it. I was like, for Soul Central Magazine, I was talking to the CEO, I was talking to Mark Rowe, I said, I need to get Devin D. Thorpe because I've been thinking about you. And I was like, last time when I talked to you, I didn't feel like I didn't get out that message, is that people need to understand the humanitarian.
Well, thank you.
That you are, and they need to know the philanthropist, the things that you do, that you're not just talk, you're actually going out there and taking people other than your faith and other than your ideas and other than your beliefs, and you're showing them a way, and people are loving you for it.
Well, thank you.
And people are coming together. People are, like you said before, people are saying that you saved my marriage. You helped my family. And it wasn't that the point being is that they were just looking at it from a religious standpoint. That I'm looking at it from a point being is that this is a man that chose to go out there and he lived in it all, okay? Because I'm going to tell you something. I know, like money, that brings out the dirtness of people, okay? That just brings out that certain way with people that that they start to get, greedy and all these things like this. So now, we're going to take a small break right now, everybody, and then we're going to come back for commercial, and then we're going to talk about the deeds that you have done through your humanitarian work. So we'll be back with you guys in just a minute. Soul Central Magazine, Guerrilla Mafia Entertainment, Tea Time with the Empress. We just want to let you guys know we're